Did you know that PUMA was once on the verge of bankruptcy? One man had steered it out of it. It made it profitable to about $4 billion in turnover, made its share price skyrocket by about 4,000%. That man, ladies and gentlemen, is Jochen Zeitz, now the CEO, chairman and president of the Harley-Davidson Group, the man behind the idea of LiveWire, which is the flagship EV company of Harley-Davidson. He is visiting India for the first time as the Harley-Davidson CEO. Harley-Davidson is an iconic brand. It has a cult following. It is in the news in India for a lot of reasons. You know one of the reasons. We have to meet him because he's been riding a very interesting motorcycle. And I can't wait to meet him and spill a lot of beans. This is also an exclusive. So let's meet him. Jochen, welcome to India.
Hello.
And so
Nice
it's a pleasure to meet you actually.
Thank you, great to meet you.
And so from morning X440 to the Fat Boy in the evening, how's been the journey?
Perfect. You go. I went racing on Heroes racetrack in Jaipur, and now I'm standing at looking at one of our anniversary bikes celebrating our
Yeah, of course. This is the iconic bike.
Sure is, especially in India.
Mm-hmm. Now with the X440, there has been so much of buzz and there has been an absolute tsunami in the market right now. So you think the strategy is going to really play up in a big way?
I think so. I think given the reaction that we've had for the, since we launched the bike yesterday, it's been phenomenal. There's a lot of interest. Bookings are coming in, pre-orders.
In fact, today is the booking open, right?
4:40 p.m. and.
Do you know the numbers? You want to drop some numbers?
But I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, all right.
But very pleased so far, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, part of our strategy is to selectively expand into new segments. In America, we went into, and in other parts of the world, into the adventure touring segment with our Pan America. And in India, we felt it was important to develop a bike that was really going after a core segment in small displacement and the middle segment that is now becoming more and more premium.
Correct.
And that was the reason why we went into the 440 with our partner.
And your competitors all in this segment are already had a very big headway in that.
Well, headway, right, but we're coming with a very powerful,
very powerful,
most recognized brand in the world, certainly motorcycles and beyond, and a partner that really understands how to manufacture at a competitive motorcycle.
Correct. I would like you to offer Indian chai on a Harley-Davidson cup. Please come.
Okay.
So how do you like the masala chai?
One of my favorites.
Great.
I make it at home as well.
So Harley-Davidson has stuck to its root ever since. How has that changed with the changing lifestyle, the changing landscape? How are things shaping up globally for you?
Well, I mean, we've been around for 120 years. We've seen a lot of changing landscapes, and so there's always the next generation that you need to get excited to ride motorcycles, which is why we've introduced the X440 in India, to get the next generation of riders early on into a Harley before they consider a big bike like this.
So Harley-Davidson's journey has had many strategic overhauls, from more road to Harley-Davidson, from rewire to hardwire. Has the brand finally found its game?
Well, look, over 120 years, you need different strategies to succeed. It cannot be just one strategy. And the rewire was setting us up for hardwire. It was in the pandemic 2020, we had to close our factory like everybody else. And I felt it was necessary to rewire the business, build a new foundation based on which we could then launch a new strategy, which was the hardwire. So the rewire was the precursor of the hardwire strategy. And it's really focusing on our core segments and our core ridership, contemporary riders, traditional riders, but also expanding into new categories. So again, every time needs its own strategy, and I felt the hardwire was the right strategy at the right time.
Harley-Davidson is also a lifestyle company. And does your lifestyle imagery work better, or overall the cult following, does it really play up and complement each other?
I think it's very important, right? We say more than building machines, we stand for the pursuit of adventure, freedom for the soul. So it is a lifestyle, right? It's not just riding a motorcycle, or it's riding a Harley-Davidson, and that in itself is a very different experience. Sure. And it's a lifestyle that our riders express when they ride a Harley-Davidson. So building and nurturing that ecosystem of ridership and being part of a community is something very special that very few, if any, brands in the world can claim their
A
own.
lot of other manufacturers have tried to imbibe that culture.
Yeah,
not
I mean,
so
but
successfully.
Harley is Harley. I don't think anybody comes close, which is great. I mean, you have such a powerful brand. It's one of the most aspirational brands in the world, and that gives us the opportunity not just sell motorcycles, but also expand into apparel, parts and accessories. We are the most customized motorcycle brand in the world. You express yourself. It's almost, creating a piece of art. You express yourself with how you customize your bike, how you paint it, what accessories you put on the bike. So that customization, again, is something that is truly unique for Harley Davidson.
So on a very rough estimate, if you have to take a number, like if the ratio would be in the future as a lifestyle company, it will be like 4:6, or it will be 5:5 in terms of motorcycle sales into the lifestyle.
Well, our core business.
That's a much bigger market, right?
Our core business is always going to be motorcycles, but we also believe that the brand can reach out to fans and aficionados that associate with the lifestyle of motorcycle riding and might not ride yet because it's such an aspirational brand. And that's the opportunity to reach out to those customers with apparel, with footwear and other products. So why shouldn't we do that? Building that audience and broadening the audience of riders and non-riders alike is something that every brand needs to do, but the core of the business is always going to be motorcycles.
So here it's very important to to understand this, because Harley Davidson has been associated with the rumble of a V-twin, and today with X440 and the ongoing electric revolution. Do you think this will dilute the brand in some way?
No, but that's why our engineers and our designers made very sure that the X440, looks, sounds and feel like a Harley. So the design was developed by our designers in Milwaukee. We worked very closely with the engineers to make sure that the vibration, that the sound, and how the bike behaves comes very close to Harley. But of course, it's a different segment. It's a 440. It's not a 1250cc.
Correct.
There is a difference, but I think once you hear the bike, once you ride the bike, there's a lot of Harley inside.
So another, Harley Davidson associated with a sense of freedom, like spending long hours on the straight road or spending time on the saddle. With this electric revolution, you think there'll be a sense of anxiety more than the sense of freedom, or will this kill the sense of freedom overall?
You mean electrification?
Electrification, sorry.
Well, we decided to launch a separate brand for that, for many different reasons. One being that the infrastructure, charging infrastructure, will take time. Fast charging will take time. In a motorcycle, it's not like a car where you have a lot of space to put a lot of battery and fast charge. That's not the case. And getting a touring bike to a significant range, the technology is not there. But we wanted to be the leader as a company. Which is why we launched LiveWire as a separate brand,
right,
that is leading the electrification of the sport, and that's separately listed at the New York Stock Exchange. And then, fast forward 10, 20, 30 years, certainly there will at one day also be an electric Harley, but the technology needs to advance a lot for us to achieve it in the core segments and make sure that the look, sound and feel of Harley Davidson is retained.
But Harley Davidson has always been the center of a pop culture, whether it's the Sons of Anarchy, Terminator, or anything like that. But
Fuel X with Jason Momoa, yeah.
Now, will this small displacement electric bike, will we see that in the future? Like, overall in your scheme of things?
The F440?
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see who's going to place our bike in Bollywood movies and with other influencers. I'm sure we will see a lot. We want to also get more female riders into the brand, and it's a perfect way to start riding, but it's much more. I mean, I was riding 125, 130 on the racetrack today. It has a lot of guts, this little bike, and I'm sure it's going to be appealing for a lot of riders, starters, beginners, but also advanced riders. I think we've landed a really good product, and that will find a lot of fans. And again, just like I started on a 500 when I was young, and eventually went into the big bikes. I think this is a great stepping stone, but it's in itself already very fulfilling, and certainly also an adventure in itself.
And Harleys and technology have never been the best of friends, but with the technology revolution Max, you think things are changing up? And
I'd say we are innovating quite a lot. RevMax, you mentioned, is a very innovative engine, with our variable valve technology. I think in safety, we're also investing a lot. And if you look at our new CVO that we just launched, I mean, there is just pure technology in that bike, from the software, from our new engine. It has all the technology you really want in a motorcycle, and that's, you always start, to bring innovation into your top product, and then eventually it'll trickle down.
Now, enough of all these questions, but tell me, which has been your favorite Harley?
That I don't have a favorite.
No, you have to pick one.
Impossible.
Okay.
I have a lot of Harleys in my garage. Depends on my.
Whenever I ask this question to a CEO, says it's like all my babies. I can't pick one. Right?
Well, there you go. It's like having many kids. You don't have a favorite.
The first Harley you ever bought or rode, or
It was a lowrider.
Lowrider.
Yeah, and then it was a V-Road, and then it was all kinds of different.
So you have been a Harley fanboy before you actually joined.
Yeah, definitely.
Because before you PUMA and everything,
yes,
so this was the cult which got you here, right?
Very much so.
So what's next? Can we expect something really? Do you see some shifts happening globally in riding? Anything that you want to give us a sense of?
Well, I think we want to get more and more people to ride. If you are not a rider, you don't know what you're missing. And I think we've just launched our membership and loyalty program in the United States, getting people early on to associate with the brand, whether you're a rider or not rider, and really building that community is very important to us, because once you have a community, especially for a bike that you take out for touring, you want to be with friends, you want to be with your family, and getting more and more people to ride is really important.
So was it difficult to graduate from PUMA, handling that brand to success, and then suddenly getting into a cult brand which is completely offbeat? Like, was it very difficult to adjust, or
well, every brand is special. I like building brands and influencing brands, and I had a great run at PUMA with almost 20 years. And that was an extraordinary experience, and then I was focusing more on my philanthropic endeavors. I joined the Board of Harley, and then 2020 I was asked to be the CEO, and I said, well, you don't say no to Harley-Davidson, right?
So we all know your philanthropic activities you've done for the climate. We have this small little thing. It's if we wanted to sign this.
Okay.
And we are going to plant it. This is
oh, lovely. Sign it here.
A sign of the global climate change. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time.
Very nice to meet you.
And it was such a pleasure. It was such an honor to be with you.
Thank you.
And do you want to show us how the rumble of the engine? You want to crank it up? Before we crank it up, guys, this is the first ever Harley imported in India. This is signature Fat Boy, painted in a tricolor. Crank it up for us, please.
The only one who's allowed to ride.
Only one who's allowed to ride. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peace out, guys.